Buckle up, Buttercup. It's law time. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. What if the laws of your country were as unconventional as the traditions it holds? Welcome to a world where the rules are not just strange, but downright bizarre. In this video, we're diving into the quirky, often bewildering stick laws from around the globe. From the land where it's illegal to chew gum to a nation where you can't simply walk your dog, these regulations challenge our understanding of everyday life. Join us as we explore the reasons behind these peculiar laws and the impact they have on the citizens living under them. That's right, we're talking about countries with laws so strict, you'll want to double-check your passport just hearing about them. Get ready to be amazed, amused, and perhaps a little confused, because when it comes to stick laws, reality is often stranger than fiction. Number 10. North Korea, where Big Brother is always watching and probably following you. North Korea. Information about North Korea is about as easy to come by as a sober night out with Charlie Sheen. This is a country where Big Brother isn't just watching, he's also taking control of your wardrobe, your reading list, and probably even your grocery list. Mandatory personal escorts for tourists? Check. Severe restrictions on freedom of speech? Oh, you better believe that's a check. Even seemingly harmless activities like taking photos of military personnel or government buildings can land you in hot water hotter than a bowl of kimchi jjigae. And don't even think about bringing in any unauthorized reading material. The point is, if you're planning a trip to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, you might want to brush up on your goose-stepping and practice your best. Dear leader, you are the most brilliant and benevolent leader the world has ever known. Smile, just in case. Number 9. Iran, where the fashion police have strong opinions and even stronger enforcers. Iran, where Sharia law dictates everything from your haircut to your Spotify playlist. Imagine a world where your grandma's knitting circle can shut down concerts and censor books. Anti-government propaganda? Say goodbye to that faster than you can say Ayatollah. Certain hairstyles? Only if pre-approved by the Ministry of Hairdos. Women face strict dress codes and legal scrutiny. Many young Iranians just want to live without harassment from the morality police. Number 8. Syria, where free speech is a distant memory and internet access is a luxury. Syria, ravaged by civil war and political turmoil, isn't exactly known for its relaxed legal system. Imagine a country where the government controls not just what you say, but whether you can even get online to say it. We're talking full-on nationwide communication blackouts, folks. Journalists? Reporting on anything even remotely critical of the regime can land you in more hot water than a tea kettle left on high for a week. The government controls the narrative, and if you step out of line, well, let's just say you might find yourself disappeared faster than a bag of chips at a Super Bowl party. It's a bleak picture, no doubt, but it's important to remember that amidst the chaos and oppression, there are still everyday Syrians just trying to survive, to find a glimmer of hope in the darkness. Their stories deserve to be heard, even if the government is doing everything in its power to silence them. Number 7. Eritrea, where religion requires a permit and good luck getting one. Welcome to Eritrea, where the government loves control more than a toddler loves a juice box. In Eritrea, religion is strictly controlled. Public worship without government registration and approval? You'd have better luck finding a unicorn riding a roller coaster while juggling chainsaws. The government tightly regulates religious groups, and if they don't like your particular brand of faith, well, you're fresh out of luck. It's a classic case of my way or the highway, except in this case, the highway might just lead you straight to a detention center. Freedom of religion? More like freedom to follow the government-approved script, or else. In Eritrea, that privilege is tightly controlled by a government that seems to view any form of dissent as a threat. Number 6. Equatorial Guinea, where ignorance is bliss, or at least encouraged. Next on our list, we have Equatorial Guinea, a country that's about as transparent as a brick wall. Literacy? Who needs it when you can just trust whatever the government tells you, right? At least that seems to be the philosophy in Equatorial Guinea, where education is underfunded and often used as a tool for propaganda rather than enlightenment. Tourism? Don't even think about it. The government likes to keep a tight lid on who comes in and out of the country, and let's just say they're not exactly rolling out the welcome mat for curious foreigners. Forget about independent journalism or investigative reporting. The government controls the airwaves, the newspapers, and pretty much any other form of media you can think of. It's like one giant propaganda machine, churning out carefully curated narratives designed to keep the population docile and unquestioning. In Equatorial Guinea, ignorance might not be bliss, but it's definitely encouraged. Number 5. Saudi Arabia, where women play by a different set of rules and need permission to do, well, almost anything. Ah, Saudi Arabia, land of oil wealth, vast deserts, and some of the most restrictive social laws on the planet, particularly for women. We're talking about a place where women need permission from a male guardian, be it a father, husband, or even a son, to do things most of us take for granted. Want to get married? Need permission. Want to get a passport? Permission. Want to travel abroad? Permission. The abaya, a loose-fitting, full-length robe, is mandatory in public for women. The internet and media are also closely monitored in Saudi Arabia. The government has a long reach, and they're not afraid to use it to silence dissent. It's a complex issue, and it's important to remember that Saudi Arabia is a diverse country with a wide range of opinions on these laws. But one thing's for sure, if you're a woman living in Saudi Arabia, you're navigating a world with a very different set of rules. Number 4. Ah, Cuba, the land of classic cars, vibrant music, and surprisingly limited internet access? That's right, folks. While tourists flock to this Caribbean island for its unique charm and history, many are surprised to find themselves cut off from the digital world they know and love. In Cuba, the internet is considered a privilege, not a right, and it's a privilege that comes with a hefty price tag. We're talking about government-controlled internet cafes with painfully slow speeds and exorbitant fees. Forget about streaming Netflix or scrolling through Instagram on a whim. Cuba's limited internet access has serious implications for freedom of expression. The government keeps a tight leash on what its citizens can and cannot say online, and criticizing the government can land you in some seriously hot water. So while you're sipping mojitos and soaking up the sun in Cuba, spare a thought for the millions of Cubans who are denied the freedom to connect, communicate, and express themselves freely online. It's a stark reminder that in the 21st century, access to the internet is not just a luxury, it's a fundamental human right. Number 3. Next up, we're heading to the world's most populous country, known for its ancient history, booming economy, and a really big internet firewall. That's right, folks. We're talking about China, where censorship is on another level. Forget about accessing Google, Facebook, or Twitter. The internet is like a curated garden, with the government pruning away unsavory content. It's like whack-a-mole, but the moles are websites, and the hammer is the government. Sensitive topics like Tiananmen Square or Tibetan independence? Forget it. The government says it's for social stability, but critics see it as control. Number 2. Welcome to Japan, a land of technological marvels, stunning natural beauty, and a whole lot of unspoken rules. In Japan, social harmony is paramount. It's all about fitting in, being respectful, and not rocking the boat. And that means following a whole host of social and workplace hierarchies that might seem a bit, well, strict to outsiders. Imagine a world where your seniority level determines everything from your salary to the depth of your bow, where speaking out of turn is a major faux pas, and questioning your superiors is practically unheard of. That's the reality for many in Japan, where a deep-rooted respect for authority and tradition permeates every aspect of life. But it's not all doom and gloom. Japan's emphasis on social harmony also has its upsides. It's a remarkably safe and orderly country, with low crime rates and a deep sense of civic duty. Just don't forget to take off your shoes before entering someone's home, and be prepared to slurp your noodles with gusto. Number 1. And last but not least, we arrive at Singapore, a gleaming metropolis known for its efficiency, cleanliness, and an almost comical number of rules and regulations. We're talking about a place where chewing gum is banned, littering can land you with a hefty fine, and even jaywalking is a serious offense. It's like living in a real-life version of Pleasantville, except instead of being trapped in a black and white television show, you're surrounded by towering skyscrapers and futuristic architecture. But hey, at least the streets are clean, right? Singapore's strict laws are often credited with its low crime rates, high standard of living, and world-class economy. But some argue that the government's heavy-handed approach to law enforcement comes at the expense of personal freedom and expression. It's a classic trade-off: security versus liberty. And in Singapore, the pendulum seems to swing decidedly towards security. Just don't forget to pack your best behavior. and maybe a spare wallet for all those fines. Well, folks, there you have it. A whirlwind tour of 10 countries with some of the strictest laws on the planet. From fashion police to internet censorship, religious restrictions to social hierarchies, we've covered it all. Remember, this isn't about judging other cultures or their laws. It's about understanding the complexities of our world and appreciating the freedoms we often take for granted. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more interesting content.